Father, please forgive me for our sin. It's really not that kind of show. Welcome to Crayon Box Confessions, where the stories are messy, the healing is real, and the crayons are definitely not all in their box.
And if you're lucky, Father King just might give you absolution. So step into the confession.
And bring your crayons.
Hey guys, welcome to Crayon Box Confessions. My name is Beth King, also known as the Crayon Eater's Wife.
I'm Jimmy King, aka your one-legged wonder. Thank you everybody for joining us here in the Crown Box. Tonight we've got a great show for you. We've got Dave Mullen, a Army vet, current first responder, and songwriter with us. Dave, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. Thank you for having me. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. It's a long weekend, so allergies. It's nice getting finally starting to get a little warm out, so allergies are starting to kick in. But other than that, it was a good weekend.
Good.
So I've been hyping up everybody for the last couple weeks, and yes, this is the guy who wrote our song. They were all a bunch of fan favorites. We've actually got one that won. That was the fan favorite. We'll be playing that at the end of the show. But first, could you kind of just tell us about yourself, like where you grew up and your military history and career?
Yeah. I was born and raised in East LA. Anybody who's ever watched the movie called Blood In, Blood Out, it's an old '80s movie of the East LA gangs, and
Okay, yeah.
Emilio Estevez and
yeah. So the back of the movie has a theme tree on the movie. That was actually, you could walk in my backyard and you could see that tree where
Oh.
it was a big symbolic of the movie.
Uh-huh.
Grew up without a dad, and my dad passed away when I was 7 years old, and raised by three women: my mother, my sister, and my grandmother. And growing up in LA, I always saw LAPD and LA County Sheriff's pursuits passing in front of my house, and the helicopter and dogs, the canines chasing people in the back of my yard. And I was like, that looks so cool. I want to do that one day. But growing up without a dad, I didn't have a father figure or anyone to show me how to defend myself or protect myself. So just to make it through my teenage years, I joined. I hung out with some people that I shouldn't have in LA, and I realized that was going to lead me to not get to my goal of becoming an officer. That's always been my goal, to become an officer. And as soon as I turned 18 and graduated high school, I walked into the LAPD office and then asked them, how do I join? They told me you have to be 21. And I was thinking,
Oh.
I'm not going to be able to keep my nose clean or my background clean, or I'm not going to make it out of here alive till 21.
Yeah.
So I did the next best thing and I marched myself into the recruiter's office and joined the Army. And I told him, how fast can you get me out of here? He asked, what do you want to do when you get out? And I said, I want to be a cop. And he told me, well, the best thing to do would probably be combat MOS, combat job.
Mm-hmm.
Joined, and then 8 years in service. Did 4 years field artillery as a 13 Bravo, and then I re-enlisted, reclassified to 11 Bravo infantry. 3 deployments later, I got an honorable discharge as a staff sergeant, E6, and started applying everywhere. I was stationed here at the time it was called Fort Lewis. Now it's called McChord, JBLM, Joint Base Lewis McChord. It's the Air Force Army base now. And I got hired out here, and I've been a cop now for just a little over 15 years. I started with a department in Eastern Washington. Did 5 years there with them. I made it up to sergeant with them, but then I left to where I'm at with now, and I've been with them for 10 years, and I'm a sergeant there now.
That's awesome.
Outstanding. So basically, you started out wanting to be the on the officer side. Growing up, realized that if you didn't change something, that you was going to end up being on playing one of the other roles in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the correct situation. I like that.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah,
also,
it was.
it was kind of just funny. Also, you and Jimmy's mindset, like some of your decisions, like, okay, I want to be a police officer. That was Jimmy's number one goal for joining the military. You know, he grew up actually, you know, out in the country in the middle of nowhere where it was factory work, or, you know, so there wasn't a lot of opportunities if he didn't go to college
Right.
back home, and he didn't want to be stuck in one of those jobs. But a lot of y'all's, you know, your lives were completely different, but your thought processes and, you know, what led y'all into those recruiters' offices, you know, are very much similar.
Right. Yeah. And I had to keep that hidden from the people I hung out with. You know, when
Oh,
I'd see the police, and everybody around me would be cheering for the person running, and outside I was having to put up that same mask, but in the inside I was like, hurry up and catch them.
and
Um,
with losing your dad and, you know, looking for other places for that male figures, I mean, you are really, you know, lucky that you didn't fall victim into, you know, more life of crime and or having that hatred for the police
right.
that often people in crime do, you know, tend to have. And, you know, skepticism in police officers, which in, you know, different cultures and different neighborhoods, it's definitely not that it's not warranted. I think there are times, especially back in the 80s, when you're talking about there was, you know, little overhead, you know, but, you know, luckily a lot of things have changed for the better.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think, I mean, I had several run-ins with law enforcement when I was growing up and hanging out with the wrong crew, but I knew that some of them mistreated us, that did us dirty, but I knew I was joining for the right reasons. My mother had to work.
Yeah, and when I say that, there's one of that, and there's you're gonna find a rotten egg in any background, any history, any position, any job, anywhere you look in America.
Right.
That's of any type of, you know,
Anybody, any job field that has
you speak Bethany's.
any job, any job field that gives someone a sense of power
control,
or authority, as far as it goes, at some point there's going to be those bad apples.
Right.
When I was coming up in boot camp, is where they first taught us. Yeah, there's always that 10%.
Right. Yeah. No, growing up with my mom working doubles and barely seeing her, and being able to barely provide the little things we had, and then falling victims to theft and burglary, and watching my mom crying for having our house broken into and having our stuff taken that she could barely afford to have.
right?
That's what made me want to do this job, to protect the folks that are struggling to make it by and are still falling victims.
That are out there really struggling, working hard, doing what they're supposed to do for their families, and then
Right.
have that ripped away and taken away by somebody just to get, you know,
Mhm.
ahead easy and the easy way. Yeah, it's sad. It's definitely sad, and I can see where that definitely, you know, pushed you and drove you.
Right.
Okay, so now let's get into a little bit of your military career. Um, you said who you served with. You said you did 3 tours. What kind of experiences, especially, you know, we talked about going on like your first tour, and it's like, okay, I'm ready for this. But then we were talking about when it came to, you know, one of your last tours, you were leaving a family, you were leaving, you know, kids behind, and you were doing what, 18 months at a time?
At first, it was 12, and then my last one,
Okay.
by then it was turning into 18 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. See, I'm used to the Marine Corps where the Marines are 6 months at a time.
Mhm.
So it's definitely not that long.
Yeah, the last my third deployment actually was we took over a very tiny base. It wasn't supposed to be meant to be lived in. It was a Marine base, so they were just using it as a checkpoint area. But we stayed there for 18 months and no running water. It was horrible. It wasn't meant to live there for that long.
Yes. Yeah. Jimmy can relate. He had to have his parents send him baby wife.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was with the Fourth Infantry Division when I first joined as artillery, and my first deployment, 0304. Our mission at the time was artillery, and we were inside paladins, which were just like like armored tanks, but that fire artillery.
Hmm.
And I saw videos of the stuff that we blew up out there, buildings and stuff, but I didn't get because we were firing from miles away, so I couldn't see the action. And then come back home, and then cool story about that first deployment. The Fourth Infantry Division got credit for capturing a leader of Iraq. And so when
Oh
we got back,
yeah.
when we got back from that first deployment, at the time President Bush came over to Fort Hood in Texas and gave us a presidential award for that capture,
That's
which we didn't do. It was special operations, but we got the credit.
yeah.
And then went back again. But by then the mission had changed. It wasn't too much of a artillery, so everybody out there, regardless of what your job was out there doing infantry, clearing houses and clearing buildings. And it was a time where that sniper that Chris Kyle was looking for, an American sniper, was out there sniping folks in Iraq. And
The terrorist that the guy was looking for. That okay. Oh, okay, okay.
so that I was out there when that was going on.
Real quick, sorry, don't want to interrupt Old Spot, but did want to give a shout out to Gerald Padgett, What's Up Bones, Keisha Tucker,
Hey.
Lorianne Terry Fisbee, Charles Felder, Shannon Jameson, John Morden. Thank you guys for joining us. For anybody who hasn't already done it, if you could highlight in the comments, it'd be greatly appreciated that people know that we're out here putting a show on for you, passing on some good information, and doing a real good interview. It'd be greatly appreciated.
I see Tisha Tucker's. She's putting out that she's in Eastern Washington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's actually one of our admins. I love Tisha.
Okay. Yeah. So went my second deployment and came back. Saw the difference, and my contract was up, and I really enjoyed doing the infantry stuff. And I was like, I want to do this for real. And I re-enlisted. I wasn't financially ready at the time. Many personal issues going on back home when I couldn't get out of the military. So I re-enlisted. Uncle Sam flashed some money in front of my face and said, "Re-enlist, and I'll give you a bonus." And I reclassified the infantry, and I went back for my third to Afghanistan. And I just felt like I wanted to cry because I knew it was going to be a long 18 months. It wasn't the fact that I was in combat; it was just knowing how long it was going to be that I was going to be away from home because that was my third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine that. That's hard. Jimmy, whenever technically single, he left because he was trying to get rid of his wife. So
Yeah, I got orders the first time it was end of December, or getting towards the end of December, and I got orders for a unit that wasn't leaving until the following September. And I called our monitor up and said, "Gunny, I know you just cut me orders, but they're not leaving soon enough. I need to go now." And he told me to stand by for orders to be coming down the line, and he said a few expletives in there.
I was gonna say, we're at 15.
Oh yeah, we're at 15. So he's like, stand by for an order, or stand by for a mod coming down the fucking line, and hung up on me. And 2 days later, I had orders for 2-4. I checked in mid-January, and we flew out mid-February. So I was with the unit for like maybe 30 days prior to flying out. He got me out of there quick.
Yes.
Wow.
But yeah, I was legally separated and just trying to get away from my ex. So
Or is that what
Yeah.
you're waiting for the kids? I think he left his questions on his notebook.
Yeah, I left my questions on my notebook. I'll blame the TBI. It's a good catch-all excuse. I write
He
things
uses
down.
it for
Otherwise,
everything. For
yeah, she doesn't believe it
everything.
anymore. But
Mhm.
Yeah, so
I
I
can't.
guess while you think of your questions, I'll just keep going, I guess, about myself.
No.
Actually,
Okay.
that is a good moment to pause, though.
Yeah, and
I
then
will
we'll jump into like what you're doing now and stuff, and your job as a police officer.
give us just a minute to pay the bills, and then we will get into what you're doing now. Actually, I'll do a quick commercial. We'll listen to one of your songs, and then we'll get into what you're doing now.
There you go.
So for anybody who's looking to improve your business, start your own business, start your own organization, or sell your services to the government, get some of that, some of them government contracts, get some of that government money, reach out to Artias at YESRTS.com. These guys are absolutely amazing. They will walk you through everything step by step. Not only, work for you, but explain how they're doing it so that you understand how you're going to improve your business or gain these contracts, etc. Trust me, if my crown ain't asking to follow along, I'm sure you can too. They've helped us apply for our 501c. They've helped us build our website, revamp our website, set up our shop. Everything as far as that goes. So check these guys out. It's YESRTS.com. I can't sing their praises enough. So check them out. It will definitely help improve your business and get you where you want to go. All right. That bill's been paid. What was our first song? The Hood to the Army. Wanted to start that one out. It kind of follows along with the interview process as far as that goes in chronological order. So we will cue that up for you and let everybody hear some songs.
A 23-year-old man was shot and killed while walking to meet his girlfriend in an East LA neighborhood. It happened in the 900.
Sorry, 1 second. Technical difficulties here.
A 23-year-old man was shot and killed while walking to meet his girlfriend in an East LA neighborhood. It happened in the 900 block of Kern Avenue. CBS 2's Art Barron is live near the scene where he spoke with devastated family and friends. Art?
Andrea, no one is in custody right now, but Alex Guinness was walking up this stretch of road early this morning hoping to meet up with his girlfriend at Whittier Boulevard, but that just didn't happen. He was shot to death.
No dad at home, just 3 women and me. Mama working doubles just to keep the lights and heat. Sister tried to guide me, grandma prayed every night. Sister tried to guide me, grandma prayed every night. But a boy without a father gotta learn how to fight. School hallways bruising my pride. Bullies pushing, had to learn to hide to fight. No man to say stand tall, son, don't you fold. So I searched for protection where the streets turn cold. From the hood to the army, I rewrote my fate. Traded gang signs for salute lines at the gate. If I had one more chance, I'd do it every time. The army saved my soul, then I spirit inclined. East LA nights, graffiti wall, sirens cry. I joined the set cause I was tired of being a guy who never fit in, who never stood strong. But in that hood life I knew I didn't belong. Knee deep in the danger, bullets sang lullabies. Either prison steel bars or we're coughing goodbye. But I made a choice to put down the Glock, sign the dotted line to get away from the block.
Police got a call saying that somebody was in shock. When they arrived, they found a victim, a man approximately 40 years old who had been shot multiple times, hit by an inmate here in that gun battle with deputies were...
From the hood to the army, I rewrote my fate. Traded gang signs for salute lines at the gate. If I had one more chance, I'd do it every time. The army saved my soul, ain't my spirit inclined. Boot camp broke me down.
That was awesome. I love that song. I was I know I shared it with you, but I had actually wanted to share it with everyone else. Actually found Dave on TikTok. And when you're going and you're swiping and you're swiping and you're swiping, I had heard it wasn't this song, it was another song that you have, because you were extremely talented. You have a lot of good music out there. I was flipping through and I saw it, and just out of habit my thumb swiped and I could not, and I hit the back button or something, because I'm a big back button person, and lost you. And then I finally found you, and I was able to find you. And I want to talk about, you serving as a police officer, but what I wanted to share was one of the main reasons I reached out to you was also because of what your mission is right now. And I really want you to talk about that as well. And what you're doing with your music to, continue and pay it forward. So go ahead.
Yeah. I always was in denial about the PTSD. Lost my squad when I was on mid-tour leave on 2 weeks, and then I had no idea until I got back into combat, and was told when I was greeted back to my base that my squad was gone, and it was really hard, but I adapted, overcame, and got back and felt I was just fine when I got out. I was like, I'm ready. I have all my limbs and I'm fine, and didn't believe that some of the wounds that we receive are not visible.
Right.
And it wasn't until I started drinking heavier and heavier. By this time, I was already out of the military and already in law enforcement. And my wife just told me, you need some help. And she gave me an ultimatum. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have sought help. And then was diagnosed with PTSD and got medication. But each 4th of July, Veterans Day, Memorial Day was getting harder and harder for me to deal with, and getting darker and darker. And I felt again into a dark place. And talk therapy wasn't doing it for me. I saw about 3 or 4 therapists through the VA. I didn't like it. Didn't feel like I could be open and honest with the therapist, because any wrong word could have jeopardized my career as law enforcement, because they're mandatory reporters. And
right.
I thought I was wasting my time and theirs for being there. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to find any way to relieve the pain that I was feeling, to include, thinking of every single way to end the pain.
Yeah.
Without saying too much. But I remembered that the reason I'm very proudful. I'm a proud father, knowing that I grew up without one, and I raised 2 boys and 2 girls. And I was like, I can't just quit on them now. I've made it this far, and there are reasons why I stuck around so long. I'm not gonna just quit now. And every therapist I saw would tell me to journal, and I was like, I'm not journaling. That's not for me. I don't like that stuff, right? Because when I think of journaling, I think of my teenage daughter journaling. I'm like, I'm not gonna get a journal. And I didn't read.
I'm not talking about anybody in that's interviewing you or anything.
Yeah.
Jimmy's a big journaler.
So
okay.
I journal, but
he has one of those fancy pens too.
I like writing with a pencil.
Yeah, my wife even got me like this manly military journal. I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna work, because they're not gonna convince me. But I found out that there was a symbolism, or it's symbolic for journaling. I guess not many therapists tell clients, but it's symbolic. Once, like, writing it down, it helps you get it off your chest, and it's out of you. And then when you close that book, it's like you're closing that chapter.
Right.
But at the time I didn't know that, and I was running out of options, and I like, what else is out there? And I started looking, and I went into therapy of some other sorts of not traditional hypnotherapy, and I became really good friends with the hypnotherapist, and he told me you need a journal, and I listened to him because I really did like him. And instead of journaling, I'm like, when I was a kid, I was writing poems and writing songs, So I just started writing.
Hold on. Journaling is girly, but writing poems, you were like, I'm mainly writing poems.
As a kid, I was writing poems.
Sorry, I had to.
So I just started.
His inner Edgar Allan Poe.
There you go.
So I started just writing my feelings, but making them rhyme.
Yeah.
And I started turning them into songs. And the first song, which it came from the Hood to the Army, was my very second song ever. The first one, called Breaking Through, that one was just meant for myself. I didn't know I left it public on YouTube. And I started getting positive feedback from veterans and first responders. Like, wow, like maybe I could also help them through my lyrics. I'm not the only one going through it. They're not the only ones going through it. So I just started making more and more music. And that's how the whole music stuff started.
That's amazing. And you said you wrote poetry when you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that in music, writing music is almost like, and writing a song is almost like writing poetry.
Absolutely, it's the same.
So, that very much does track. I just had to give you a little shit. Sorry. I had to stick up for my man, okay?
But yeah, and then I just felt like I felt so relieved after I got I would, for lack of better words, cured with my hypnotherapist, and I just felt like more people need this. As soon as I was out of my first session, like, I want to tell the whole world about this. There's got to be more first responders, more veterans out there that need to know and they need to go get help. When I first got hired with the department I'm with now, my training officer, who I was writing with for a couple months, until I got the hang of things the way that department did things. On my weekend, I just went through that again. On my weekend, just like in combat, I get calls from the patrol sergeant, and he said, "Hey, your training officer just took his life with his duty pistol," and I had no idea that he was going through stuff at work. I sat with the man for 12 hours straight in the car and had no idea he was going through issues because we're so good at hiding it.
Yeah. And what I hate about, as a police officer, you see not only day to day, you can see really some crazy stuff every single day, but it's your community. So it's, all around you. And then there's also like some of the kickback that you get, the not appreciating you. But what I hate for you guys the most is not having an outlet to go to, like seeing a therapist without worrying about losing your job, without worrying about those type of things. I wish that there would be more policy change when it comes to that as a whole, for you guys to feel okay being able to go and seek treatment, because that would only make you a better officer if you are dealing with your day-to-day issues and or stressors that you're dealing with at work.
Yeah. After our department lost that officer, and then I would say 2 years later, another officer to his own self as well, we really started focusing into a lot of the mental health and wellness of officers. And I'm not really sure many departments do that, but we do have like a wellness committee within our department, reaching out to private companies who would offer, services to officers. And yeah, it's something that isn't discussed, and when people mainly hear about officers, it's because it's something negative on social media, but they don't see or hear, all the type of calls that our officers respond to on a daily. And then they see like the worst in humanity and then respond to a noise complaint, and then they're angry because it took too long to get there, not knowing you just got done seeing something really traumatic. And
I will say, because I was diagnosed with cancer, I got addicted to my pain pills, which led me into doing some stupid things. The best and worst thing that ever happened to me was getting put behind in one of those back seats. So that officer saved my life. That was enough for me to straighten my butt out. Between that and also it alerted Jimmy that there was something going on. But between that happening and Jimmy stepping in, I wouldn't be here today. So I am grateful for getting those cuffs put, you know, because so often I'm like, I've always have gotten let go or out of trouble or never faced consequences. So it was the best thing that happened to me personally. And I don't think you guys get recognized even when you see us on our worst days. It can be like the best thing that ever happens to us is running into you guys.
Right. Well, yeah, but there's several instances like that of officers, at least that I've seen, that I supervise the patrol squad. My officers doing the same for people on the streets, stuff like that, and that doesn't get recognized or seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot to add because, like I said, unfortunately, I've been sitting here racking my brain trying to remember what questions I'd written down.
Don't worry about it. Just go with it
So,
now.
but I will definitely agree with Beth that there are times where you see people on their worst days, and it can turn out being one of the best things that ever happened to them. They just won't recognize it in the moment, and that kind of goes along with something Beth and I say quite often. You know, is everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you just have to wait to see what it is.
Right.
I say that in the aspect of getting blown up. Most everybody that's watching probably knows me in one way, shape, or form. I was injured in Ramadi in 2004. I am a left leg above the knee amputee. So getting blown up was, for obvious reasons, the worst physical thing that ever happened to me. But I will also say that to a large extent, it was also the best thing that ever happened to me. Because if I wouldn't have been blown up, I wouldn't have been a Walter Reed. If I wouldn't have been a Walter Reed, I wouldn't have met my wife. She was a USO volunteer. If I wouldn't have met my wife, I wouldn't have 3 beautiful kids. So that's where we say that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes you just have to wait and see what it is. Beth, for example, it falls right into that same line. At the time, she probably thought it was one of the worst days of her life, but in the long run, it was one of the best things that ever happened.
Yeah, I can definitely sit back and appreciate it now. So let's talk about, like, what did you just receive?
I'm sorry?
Did it?
Oh. Yeah, so you're talking about my state certification?
Yes.
Yeah, so once I got done being a client or a patient of my hypnotherapist, he found me very genuine because I told him about my music, and I told him that I planned on I got my logo trademarked by an U.S. Trademark company and owned it, and I told him I was looking to making merchandise to raise money for wounded, disabled veterans and families of fallen officers, and he saw how genuine I was about trying to help people, and he told me that I would make a great hypnotherapist for veterans and first responders, and he told me that he was the go-to for the state to certify, and that he was about to have a course coming up, and that he would like me to be a student of his. So I attended the long course and had to finish my master's on human psychology. And once I got all that, submitted everything to the state of Washington's health department, and I just got certified and licensed as a hypnotherapist as well in the state of Washington. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be working for his office.
I was going to say, and he did what? He hired you too.
He hired me to work in his office. I told him I didn't want to get paid. I just wanted to help veterans and first responders, and he told me he had to pay me. So whatever I do get from that, would also be going every single penny towards helping wounded veterans, disabled veterans, and families of fallen officers.
And I love that because there isn't a lot of stuff out there for first responders. We do have a lot of stuff out there for veterans. I love that you are, of course, you're a first responder, so you would add them in. But this is something that's available, and now, it will be able to be provided for them. And like you said, they can go and it's for hypnotherapy, correct?
Correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the good thing about it, when I knew nothing other than what I saw on TV on stage of the fairgrounds, that hypnosis. I didn't know what it was, and
right.
I didn't know how long it's been around, and I didn't know that hypnosis was actually a stage that everybody goes through on their way to sleep and out of sleep, and it's so understanding that and how that is used to help folks. I just found it fascinating, and I just went in there with an open mind because at the time I was so vulnerable. I just needed help. And every officer at work that I told that I was going to chemotherapy, every single one would tell me, "Wow, I was thinking about looking into that because they needed help as well. They just never took that leap."
Yeah.
So knowing that I could bridge that gap and get them help, that's why I do it. That's why I'm doing it.
That's amazing. You want to read some comments? I just thought about it. We hadn't read any comments.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say,
Yeah, let's get some questions and see what we can find for you.
Sorry, gotta go back up here a little bit.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This has just been a really great interview.
So going all the way back to just after the song finished, Tisha Tucker said that you mentioned the women who raised you. It's not a patient, so she loves the fact that you were mentioning the women that raised you. Lorianne said sometimes we just can't see it ourselves, and then what it used to be.
Probably everything happens for a reason.
Shannon said, when talking about journaling and songwriting and stuff like that, Shannon said, I couldn't find the words to explain my PTSD.
That's very true, I'm sure.
Theo said, the first song I wrote after my divorce was, I hope my worst enemy finds a woman like you. I want to hear this one.
That's a really great little ditty you got there, Theo.
Yeah, I really want to see what genre he wrote that in.
I know, right? Slow jazz.
He also said, I just heard Beth saying that she likes Jimmy to put cuffs on her. He said, in high school, we had a beautiful female police officer on our campus. I was trying to get her to pull me over every time I left the school. Tisha said, my dad lost his partner, and they were absolutely no programs then for help. It truly messed with him. So glad things are starting to change, and hope that continues.
Not fast enough, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I like we were talking, it's like some departments are doing it, and I really wish there'd be a policy change across the board, because I definitely don't think there'd be as many instances as there are if there was more therapy available.
Right.
So, when talking about getting your certification and that you was going to donate the paycheck from working in the office and everything as far as that goes, Theo said, hey, man, give your paycheck to me. Lorianne said, congratulations. Then Theo said, never mind, you found a better cause.
Yeah.
Tisha said, congratulations. Shannon said, congratulations. Marcus Reed joined us in that highlighted.
That's Marcus Reed. He's the one who is going to get his master's, who is the OG of our old show.
Gotcha.
He was.
Thank you. Thank you all for congratulations.
Yeah.
So that catches us up on the comments. I'm going to take a quick second to pay some more bills. And then we can play End of Watch, the other song.
Yes.
So for those of you who enjoy our particular brand of humor, join us on Facebook at Crown Eater 1775. We believe in healing through laughter. So your military humor, your dark, your inappropriate, your explicit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is
like that.
What you're going to find. We do, like to mix in some positive stuff with Motorcycle Mondays, Tantrum Tuesdays. What do we got on Wednesday?
Tantrum Tuesdays. Wednesdays we do Buddy Check.
Buddy Check Wednesdays, Pet Therapy Thursdays, Selfie Saturdays, which surprisingly is highly popular.
It's a very big hit with our veterans.
I was actually extremely surprised at exactly how many veterans like to fake
Send me their
selfies.
selfies. Yep.
But for the most part, you're going to find the memes that everybody says you shouldn't post.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, oh, you shouldn't laugh at that. Well, we do, because that's our sense of humor. So get over it. It's what helped me heal. If you'd like to check out some of our gear, like I said, RTS helped us out with building up our website. So you can head over to CW1775.org, click on shop, and check out some of the merchandise that we have. We got zip up hoodies. We've got pullover hoodies. We've got ball caps, trucker hats, t-shirts, women's V-neck t-shirts. We've even got a cool looking flask.
Yep. That's
there,
my t-shirt.
That's best design there.
Yeah.
Because she thought that swearing like a sailor was a compliment back when she was a kid. When her dad told her that she had a mouth that could make a sailor blush.
It was just my.
Oh.
I was converted back then.
Okay, so her dad thought that her sense of humor would make a sailor blush, and she took that as a compliment and ran with it.
Yes.
But you can check out the website. Any purchases, any money made off the website is going to help us finish off our 501c, and it's going to help us with our motorcycle program. We have had a motorcycle donated to us. Real pretty. Just needs some tune-up and maintenance done. Once we get it done, we are going to be based, for lack of a better way of saying, we're going to be taking applications, and then from those applications, we will choose one lucky veteran that is in need of some wind therapy. Click on donate, select what program you'd like to make a donation for. Anything and everything helps. We'd greatly love and support it, or love and appreciate it.
And now this is David's second song that we have. It's End of Watch. David Alero is our merch guy, so that's like
12-hour tour, but the world on pause. Radio bleed through the silence, respond. Adrenaline spike, now I'm gone. No thought from a calm to chaos in a single call. No scent in my boots, but the weight still there. Same trauma, different uniform I wear. Every scene overlap, no time to process. Just stacking inside, let it ride in the chest. From a noise complaint to a post that's gone. Still hit the last screen while I'm moving on. You see 10 minutes, I see every frame of the last. Everybody I couldn't say. Lights cut the dark like a blade through night. Tunnel vision when I roll to a fight. You screen you late like I chose that route. You ain't seen what I just walked out. No decompression, no space to breathe. Just bury it deeper so I can breathe. Clock says done, but my mind won't stop. I lead the shift, but the shift don't drop. This ain't a bed, just a battlefield. No armor, but pressure I never reveal. Every 53 hours another one gone, but the war lives on when the sirens are. We run to the fire, you run from the smoke. Carry the weight that we never spoke. In the watch, but it don't end in. We clock back in and deploy again. This ain't a bed, just a battlefield. No armor, but pressure I never reveal. Every 53 hours another one gone, but the war lives on when the sirens are. Cut a child from a branch in the front yard tree. Parents collapse right in front of me. Hands on the chest trying to force back breath while a mother scream prayers to bargain with death. Next scene shift, no time to reset. Overpass bodies, still one from the wreck. Launch from a car like life meant nothing. Now I'm staring at the cost of a split second judgment. Then a child with a voice that don't match her age. Every word like a knife through a locked up cage. Touched by a man who should never breathe. Now I'm holding back race so I don't cross lines. I believe door kicked in, face belly there. Blood on the walls, pain in the air. She's hanging on like by a fragile thread while the man who loved her left her for dead. Building on fire, ceiling starting to break. I step inside knowing my life's at stake. Grab an arm, drag them through smoke. Structure falls where I just broke. Ash in my lungs, vision going dim. Dispatch hits, I'm back again. This ain't a badge, just a battlefield. No armor but pressure I never reveal. Every 53 hours another one gone, but the war lives on when the sirens off. We run towards gunfire, you run from the smoke. Carry the weight that we never spoke. In the watch, but it don't end it. We clock back in and deploy again. You call me names while I stand on scene. I just left hell, now I'm back in between. I don't write laws, I enforce the code. You made that choice, now I carry the load. If you run, I pursue, no hesitation. If you fight, I respond with escalation. If you shoot, then it's life or death. I won't fold, I protect what's left. Don't ask color, belief, or name. When life's on the line, it's all the same.
is a risk I take. For a life I've never known to say. Train with force, not for my pride. For the weak that got nowhere to hide. I'm the line when the chaos spreads between the living and the dead. I'm consequence, I'm unpaid debt. I'm fading uniform, you ain't escaped yet. Still boss weight if you push that line. I don't bend, I enforce what's mine. Behind this badge is a human chest. Still feel pain I never expressed. I bleed, I think I carry it all. Still answer every single call. I can die, but I still show up. And the watch never means it ends.
All right.
All right, so now is our time for our bad news advice. This is where we're going to read out a question that's been submitted, and you give us your worst advice possible that you can come up with. And Dave, you'll go first, then Jimmy and I, and that'll give time for some people to type in some responses into the comments.
Beth, I was raised by women and raised to be a gentleman. Ladies first.
That's the way to get out of it. Is really that's all I saw. All right, I'll take the bait. I'll go.
All right. Obi here from San Jose. I would like to get my music out to more people. The only problem is that I have never sang a note or rapped a verse before. What is the best way for me to be a top performing artist?
So he's never sang or wrote anything.
Never sang a note or rapped a verse.
Okay. So what you want to do is, one, plagiarize and lip sync. Those are the two ways to get yourself out there. Milli Vanilli it. Milli Vanilli it.
Milli Vanilli as a cover band. David, what do you got for us?
I would say you have to gain confidence, and the only fast way to gain confidence is with a bottle of tequila. And find your local karaoke place, find out when it's really crowded, and be the first one to open up the show. And that's how you get started.
There you go. It didn't work for you, Jimmy, did it?
The
go karaoke thing.
Yeah. So I'm going to say there's so many different routes to go here.
The pressure's on, Jimmy.
Do some snort a line of coke and then perform naked at your kids' talent show.
You just went trifecta there. You
know, I'm sure you'll get positive feedback that will help build your confidence.
I don't think you asked him for me for this show. I'm just saying.
Hey, look, I just offer the advice. If they decide to take it, that's their choice. Yeah, I'm letting them practice their freedom of choice and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I know why you got that flag you got. It all makes sense. It's all tracking here.
Let's see. Hardy Combs said hello from Southern Ohio. Hardy, how you doing?
Hello.
Theo said, make a pact with a voodoo doctor to inherit magical singing skills. On the 40th year of fame, you have to give up your soul.
Or present someone else's soul to take your place.
Theo had also said that you had the best bad advice. Jimmy King's advice will make it to where you have to introduce yourself to your neighbor and get out.
to move X amount of yards from a school zone.
Hey, they said they wanted to be a top performing artist. They didn't say which list they wanted to top. Okay, they're going to be on a list. I just didn't say which one.
Most wanted list.
Right?
All right. Bad
The
advice
line of
too.
coke, honestly, was what shocked me the most.
And
The
for anybody-
child porn, it was okay.
Margie, if you haven't seen the show before, this is bad news advice. We read out a question and then we take turns giving the absolute worst advice possible.
Yes, this is not something we're actually.
Feel free to type in your answers. They will get read out.
Yeah.
Advice 2. Hi, Dave. My name is Edith from Duluth. I am 5'8" and I would like to join the UFC. The problem is that I weigh 190 pounds. Also, I have never ever been in a fight before. In addition to that, I get gas whenever I exercise too much. What is your advice on being the next Ronda Rousey?
Well, Edith from Duluth, I'm not sure if you're aware of what the UFC is, but never having been in a fight before, my advice to you, Edith, is before you start training, eat as many beans as you can, and then go find yourself a biker bar and find the biggest, toughest person and pick a fight with them, and you'll learn quick what it's like to be in a fight and how to fight or defend yourself.
And if not, you'll gas them out.
There you go.
Gas out, not tap out.
Gas out, not tap out.
So I'm gonna say I'm gonna copy your part of your diet there. Basically, go on a strict diet of nothing but beans and grapes or some other form of fruit 5 times a day, and then make sure that use weighted gloves because they don't check.
Yeah.
And if you don't knock them out, they'll gross them out.
I'm going to go with protein, personally. I think protein is the worst. So I'm going with protein. Not only does it get for shock value because they're loud, but they also smell really bad. So, and
High
go
protein diet
around,
with
I would
protein
go
shakes.
to LA Hood and go pick some fights.
Get your
Go-
practice in.
Go throw, go throw some racist slurs around and see what happens.
Yeah, find out what colors they wear there, and then just wear the opposite.
And wear the opposite. Exactly. So, yes. And
Ask-
then you'll know if you can make it in the UFC.
Ask around on what colors you're not supposed to wear, and then
Take
wear those
someone to
colors.
videotape in case you are successful.
So Theo said Edith should block every punch and kick her with her face, or block every punch and kick with her face.
Oh,
In a fight, the person that can take more damage to the head is the winner. Edith, your question makes me believe you have taken a lot of punishment to the head already. Keep taking that punishment, champ. You should be a champ in no time.
oh my goodness.
That's a good strategy. Wear them out by eating every punch and kick you can.
Yeah, you think my face looks bad? You should see the other person's hands.
Right.
Um,
Is that the last one?
yeah, we've got a couple minutes to do hypothetical hijinks, and then we will swing it back around. All right, hypothetical hijinks. These are generally your out there situations that, despite the fact that you're going to want to give bad advice for, the goal is to actually try and give the best advice possible. We're going to try
This
and
is where
redeem
we
ourselves.
redeem our souls.
Yeah, we're going to try and redeem ourselves. I apparently need to really badly. So hypothetical hijinks 1. You wake up a superhero. Your arch nemesis is the rival. Your arch nemesis is a rival MC. What is the best way you would defeat your arch nemesis? So you're a superhero, and your arch nemesis is a rival MC. How do you go about defeating your arch nemesis?
I don't know about that one. That one's a hard one for me.
Use your super speed when it's their turn to go up and start rapping or whatever as far as that goes, and completely change the music genre to, throw them off. So, if they're going out and they're starting to get into some sort of speed rap competition, throw on the slowest country song you can find. Like some really old school Johnny Cash or Dolly Parton or something
That's
like
good. And how about you, Dave?
I say become good friends or pay off the DJ and have them play when it's their turn. Play some opera music and make sure that their microphone is disconnected.
Oh, there you go. That was a good one.
that. Or put in a, I don't know, Mighty Mouse, Mickey Mouse type filter onto the mic so that it comes out.
Anybody else answer?
Theo said, get them in a relationship with Kim Kardashian.
I think Theo takes that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Theo won that one. Okay, so let's talk about your mission real quick one more time,
Give
and
him
then we're actually going to debut the new song, Crayon Box confession song that you put out for it.
Give them a contract with Diddy.
Give him a contract. And baby oil all over the stage just to make sure they know.
All right, sorry, I just had to throw that last one out there.
And
Go ahead and swing your mission statement at us again.
Yep.
Yeah. So I have I do have a GoFundMe page, and I'm going to try to work with. I've been waiting to work with folks that are working.
The QR code's in the corner for it.
Oh, yeah, they have the QR codes on the screen.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting to get together with Beth and Jimmy here to meet the folks that they work with their merch. I'm gonna start here. I intend on putting out some hats and beanies, shirts, tank tops, hoodies, and stuff like that, so that every penny of the merchandise goes to the fundraisers. And I just hope everybody that's out there is supporting the channel. I know some of my songs sometimes might seem repetitive or corny, but every single thing that's out there that isn't a cover song of another artist is all things that I've been through and hearing from the veterans and responders that they're also going through the same things or have gone through it. That's sometimes it's just me. I don't have anybody else helping me do anything. It's just myself on top of a full-time profession in law enforcement that takes up a lot of my time. So it's just myself, and just sometimes I feel like quitting doing music, but then I'll get responses from loyal followers on my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube that gives me that energy to keep going for them. And I know the families of the fallen officers, first responders, and veterans that are disabled would really appreciate any help and support that you guys give us.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to thank your daughters for getting you to put your music on TikTok.
Yes, I was so anti TikTok. I was only on YouTube. I didn't even have my last social media page that I personally had was MySpace, and that's how that dates me how old I am. And I just never jumped over to Facebook, and I did not want to get a TikTok until my kids were like, "Dad, this stuff needs to go on TikTok." And they started the page for me. And once I saw that with the views I was getting on YouTube, within a month, I was getting it in an hour on TikTok. So I realized that was the way to go.
That was awesome. Well, again, thank you so much. We're going to close out with our song, Next week, we have Amrock Wolf, who's also a big influence in our veteran community, who's been through a lot. He does a lot of videos, also on TikTok and on Facebook, where he's just kind of doing the same thing as you, bringing awareness to PTSD and the mental health struggles. So that is our guest next week. Please enjoy this song as we close out. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. We had an amazing night with you guys. Love you guys. Thank you.
For those that are watching, that are on Crown Eaters White or Crown Eater 1775 Facebook group, this is the song that you voted on.
Yes.
As far as that
actually,
goes,
on all the pages.
Well, yeah, on all our pages as far as that goes. This was the fan favorite. David here is the author, the writer, the producer of this song. So check this out. We love it. Hope you do too. Good night in the Crown Box. Thank you.
Crayon Box Confessions. Yeah. This ain't just talk. This is where the truth bleeds out. I got your sex, yeah, this life that we live ain't just words that we say, it's the weight that we give. Crayon Box Confessions, judgment free, don't pretend. Tell your story right here, we don't break, we don't bend. Everything happens for a reason, they say. Even pain got a purpose, even night finds a day. You ain't fighting alone, yeah, we stand to the end. I got your six, yeah, I got you, my friend. 97, young Jimmy laced up his boots with a mission. Never knew that his path would be written in fire and friction. Ramadi rose with attention, thick every second to gamble. 04 IED blast, wounded a Marine with blasting shrapnel, dust in the lungs. Heartbeat racing, vision blurred from the shock. Life changed in the moment when the world just stopped. Lost parts of himself, but not the fight, that's a different condition. You can break down flesh, but you can't kill the mission. I got your sex, yeah, this life that we live ain't just words that we say, it's the weight that we give. Crayon Box Confessions, judgment free, don't pretend. Tell your story right here, we don't break, we don't bend. Yeah, Walter Reed trying to piece back a life from the wreckage. VA hospital halls with a broken, learn strength in the pressure. That's what Beth walked in, yeah, fate in disguise. Crayon Eater's wife, but she saw through the eyes. Not the scars, not the past, not the war that he lived. Saw a man still standing with a life left to give. He said, you saved me, she said we saved each other. Built a life from the pain, raised three together, father and mother. Years turn to purpose, every story gets told. Now they open that door so nobody walks alone. War took pieces, love gave them back. Pain made the wound, purpose filled the crack. Silence will kill you, truth brings you home. You ain't gotta carry that weight alone. I got your six, this ain't a slogan, it's a last. From the war to the healing, we don't ever back down. Crayon Box Confessions, judgment free, let it out now. Tell your story, yeah, your voice matters, pal. Everything happens for a reason, we see. Even broken roads lead to who we can be. You ain't fighting alone, yeah, we stand to the end. I got your six, yeah, I got you, my friend.